Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her infamous 22 number to a new one. Guys, for this one here,
you're not going to believe this, but Team USA just unveiled their official training camp roster, complete with player numbers. And within seconds, the internet practically exploded. Fans didn't just notice something odd, they noticed something infuriating. And the reaction wasn't mild confusion or quiet frustration. No, this was a full-blown eruption of outrage across basketball fans everywhere. Because Caitlin Clark, the single biggest name in women's basketball right now, the face of a global movement, the player who has transformed arenas and viewership, was told she cannot wear her trademark number 22. Let that sink in. The number that has defined her college career, fueled her rise to superstardom, generated millions of dollars in merchandise sales, and become instantly recognizable worldwide, is suddenly off limits. Her identity, her brand, her legacy, reduced to a number swap. And the justification they're offering? Well, it's so bizarre and outdated that it almost defies logic. Before we break down the real reason behind this controversial decision, and trust me, it's deeper than people think, I want to hear from you. Jump into the comments right now. Should Caitlin Clark have the right to wear her number no matter what? Or should she be forced to follow Team USA's rigid traditions, even if those traditions feel outdated? This whole uproar cracks open the door to something far more revealing about how the national program operates behind the scenes. Now let's get into the details. When Team USA released their training camp sheet, with every athlete assigned a number, the meltdown started as soon as the list hit social media. Fans zoomed in, scanned the numbers, and immediately spotted it. Caitlin Clark, number 17. Not 22. Not even something close. Instead, a number with zero connection to her history or fan base or everything she has built since entering the spotlight. A number that means absolutely nothing to her career. And naturally, people are furious. Because it doesn't just look like a random number. It looks like a deliberate downgrade. It looks like a subtle message. And fans are loudly demanding to know, what is Team USA thinking? The conversation surrounding the WNBA has taken a sharp and unsettling turn, and the anxiety is no longer confined to backroom whispers or insider speculation. It has erupted into full-blown public panic. Because now a deeply urgent question has forced itself to the center of every debate, every panel discussion, every group chat of fans, players, and analysts. What happens to the WNBA draft if the league plunges into a lockout? It sounds simple on the surface, almost procedural. But anyone who understands the mechanics of professional sports knows that this question isn't just important. It's explosive. And the people who cover this league daily, including those with the deepest network of sources, are admitting it openly. They don't know what's supposed to happen next. That's how unprecedented this moment is. Imagine this scenario. The lockout clock strikes midnight. Negotiations collapse. The league and the players' union retreat into silence. And suddenly we're staring at a situation the WNBA has never had to navigate in its entire existence. The implications are staggering. Does the draft lottery, the event designed to determine the future of struggling franchises, still take place? Do teams still gather, hoping for a shot at generational talents? Even if those players might not be able to set foot on a court for months, maybe even a year? And even if the league decides to proceed, here's the next problem. What does it even mean to draft a player who legally cannot sign a contract? It's not symbolic. It's not hypothetical. It's a real structural crisis. A lockout doesn't just pause games. It freezes the league's entire operational ecosystem. Contracts can't be signed. Rookies cannot be on board. Practice facilities become inaccessible. Team activities screech to a halt. Even promotional campaigns and marketing timelines collapse under the uncertainty. This isn't about postponing a few matchups or rescheduling a preseason. This is about the complete paralysis of a professional sports league, right at the exact moment it's experiencing its biggest cultural peak. And the draft, the crown jewel of the league's future, is directly in the blast radius. Think of the college stars preparing to enter the WNBA. They've spent their entire lives building toward this moment. The night their name is called, the night their professional journey begins. But in a lockout scenario, that dream becomes clouded with chaos. They might still be drafted, but they won't be allowed to train. They won't be able to sign. They won't be able to join their team community. They won't even know when or if their rookie season will start. And that's not the end of it. There's another angle no one is talking about loudly enough, the teams. Front offices have spent years scouting, evaluating, traveling, analyzing film, meeting families, projecting potential, preparing for the draft that would shape their franchise's next decade. But what good is any of that preparation if the entire process is suspended in limbo? A lockout transforms what should be a night of celebration, hope, and future building into a logistical nightmare. Player movement freezes. Trades become legally impossible. Even discussions about roster construction are rendered meaningless because no one knows when the league can resume. Every layer of planning, from coaching staff expectations to marketing rollouts for newly drafted stars, collapses. And the most devastating part? This crisis strikes at the heart of the WNBA's talent pipeline. A lockout at this moment doesn't just disrupt the draft. It threatens the momentum of the entire next generation of players. Consider the NCAA athletes gearing up to make the jump. They are some of the most watched, most celebrated, most hyped, and most promising prospects in the history of the women's game. They've driven record-breaking viewership. They've elevated the sport culturally. They've transformed college basketball into a primetime event. And now, right on the cusp of entering the league, they've helped lift to new heights. Their futures hang in the balance. It creates a chilling irony. Just when women's basketball is finally breaking through globally, the league built to showcase the highest level of that talent risks grinding itself into a complete standstill. That is why the fear surrounding this lockout isn't just about finances or contract language or bargaining chips. It's about something far more foundational, the continuity of the sport. Every system, scouting, drafting, marketing, development, player integration, team identity, competitive balance, is anchored to the draft. Remove that anchor, and everything begins to drift. A lockout doesn't simply delay the league.
Because we ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA. And not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Now, this article has come out.
Let's look at the... So now we have the full picture. Caitlin Clark isn't getting her signature number 22 because of a tradition that no longer has any real purpose. Now we're left asking, is this a fair application of the rules? Or is this one more signal that she isn't being treated with the respect she deserves? I genuinely want to know your thoughts. Drop your opinion in the comments. And if you want deeper coverage of Team USA drama and the never-ending controversies swirling through women's basketball, hit that like button and subscribe. We're just getting started. But let's get back to the main issue. Seeing Caitlin assigned number 17, as if she's some anonymous camp participant fighting for a roster spot, is a bad look. It suggests that the program either doesn't understand her influence or worse, that they're intentionally downplaying it. And that's exactly why fans are outraged. This latest situation feels like déjà vu, especially after the massive backlash when they controversially left her off the Olympic roster. It feels like a pattern, a steady undercurrent of undervaluing Caitlin Clark on the national stage. However, here's where things get more complicated. Team USA has a long-standing policy of using only numbers 4 through 15 during official competitions. This isn't something they invented to target Caitlin. This rule has been in place for decades, originally based on outdated FIBA requirements. But here's the twist. FIBA removed those restrictions back in 2014. Teams can use any number between 0 and 99 now. The rule is gone. The limitation no longer exists. Yet USA basketball still clings to the old system for the sake of tradition. And while tradition sounds respectable, it creates absurd scenarios like this, where one of the biggest stars in the entire world can't wear the number she's known for. And remember, this isn't just about Clark. Aya Wilson wears 22 for the Aces. Cameron Brink wears 22 as well. 3 huge names, all tied to the same iconic number. And what did Team USA do about it? Nothing. They simply refused to assign 22 to anyone. Every player got tossed into a random number placement instead. And if you look at the men's teams, they did the same thing. LeBron couldn't wear 23. Durant had to switch numbers. Everyone had to fit the 4 to 15 requirement. So no, this isn't a Clark-only rule. It's a universal USA basketball choice. But here's the key. Just because it's universal doesn't mean it still makes sense. Forcing the most marketable player in women's basketball to drop her iconic number, all to preserve an outdated tradition, is frustrating to fans, damaging to branding, and completely unnecessary. Yes, this is just the training camp roster, not the final World Cup jersey list. But announcing these numbers publicly sends a message. It reveals how the organization views its players. It also raises questions about hierarchy. Some reports claim the main roster locks get 4 to 15, while everyone else gets higher numbers. If that's true, then assigning Clark 17 is another subtle hint that they don't see her as a core piece. Yet, even when she eventually gets an official number, it certainly won't be 22. And every meaningful option, 6, 7, 8, 9, is already claimed by a star. So she'll likely end up with a completely random digit that means nothing to her identity. When LeBron switched to a different number for Team USA, he remained the centerpiece of the team. He was treated like a superstar. The question now is whether Caitlin is receiving the same level of respect. From the Olympic snub to this jersey mess, it's hard to believe she is. Some say treating everyone equally is fair. But we all know the truth. Elite athletes are treated differently in every sport. That hierarchy isn't unfair, it's reality. And ignoring that reality, especially when dealing with the most influential figure in women's basketball, feels short-sighted. A conversation could have easily solved this. A special exception could have been made. At minimum, communication could have happened. Instead, Team USA chose bureaucracy over common sense. And the worst part? The timing. After months of intense pressure, constant targeting, and nonstop criticism, the last thing Caitlin Clark needed was yet another headline suggesting she's not valued. Even if this is just training camp, making the numbers public ensured a backlash. The core issue is simple. A tradition that no longer has a purpose is now creating unnecessary controversies. When a rule harms branding, storytelling, and the growth of a sport, it needs to evolve. Caitlin Clark is a generational force bringing millions of new fans to women's basketball. Those fans know her as number 22. Disconnecting her from that identity doesn't just hurt her. It hurts the sport she's growing. And that's a frustrating part. All of this could have been avoided until Team USA modernizes its approach and stops hiding behind outdated customs. These conflicts will keep happening.
Even made it to training camp yet. We have not even made it to the December 12th Women's USA Basketball training camp yet, and they are already